We have a very full program here for you this morning, and we will get right to it. I hope you enjoy it. We are thrilled to have these people with us today, and all of you here as well. I would ask that you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the American Indian Blessing and our flag song. Please remain standing through the flag song. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It is my honor to introduce to you, to present the American Indian Blessing this morning, a very familiar face in the Missoula schools, a member of the Shoshone Nation, and an elder with our Indian community. I present Carmel Garnett.
Since I deal with a lot younger students, this is kind of fun to see these older students sitting out here. First thing I'd like you to do, if you don't mind, like I tell all my students when I go to the schools, is I'd like to, can everybody hear me okay? Raise your hands if you can. All right. I want you to shut your eyes, and I want you to daydream. And daydream for people our age, it's pretty hard. But for the little students, they just love it. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to play a special song. And this song is to help you daydream. Oh, you can be any place you want to be. You can be on a mountain peak. You can be sitting by the ocean or sitting in your closet where nobody can bother you. But anyway, I'm going to play this little song, and I hope that you do a lot of good daydreaming. Can you hear that? Can you hear that? Yeah. All right, I can't. Now I'm going to bless all you educators, not me, but the Creator. Creator, we all come before you at this time, knowing that these educators are putting our children in their hands. We pray now, Grandfather, that you be with each one of them as they go into their rooms, as they go into their schools, and help them. Give them the special blessing that they need, because our children are the most precious thing there is and the most sacred thing that there is. So at this time, Creator, be with each one of them. For our children will someday be teachers also, and educators in their own way. But be with each one on this day, that they might know and that they might remember the blessing that they are receiving. For we all look forward to this, Grandfather. So we pray at this time that we, as teachers, we as people concerned for our children and our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren, all. So be with these teachers today and always, for they're the ones that are going to make our nation strong, a whole.
And it is equally my honor to introduce Sam Smith, who will be doing a ceremonial song, a flag song for us this morning. Sam is of the Lakota Nation. He is a Hellgate High School graduate, presently a student at the University of Montana. Please stand.
Well, this is my first time doing something like this before, so we'll see how this works. I'm very honored to be here, though I'd like to have someone in my place. That can't happen right now. I was asked to sing an honor song this morning, but I don't know any honor songs, so this is as close as it gets. Yo ha ya 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 pe ta wa ba ke ha we ya ke shne na jik te ye we yo pla te ha o ya te ke ha we cho cha sik ta cha le cha mu we ye Tonka shela ya ya pe tawa pa ke ha we o kishne inajik te ye io flate ha o ya te ki ha we cho cha zik ta cha le cha mu we ye ai You ha ya 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 pe ta wa pa ha ke ha we yo kishne na jik te ye yo flate ha we yo cha zik ta cha le cha mu we ye lo hai tung ka she la ya ya pe ta wa pa ha ke ha we yo kishne na jik te ye yo flate ha o ya te ki ha we cho cha zik ta cha le cha mu we ye ai au Thank you.
There's nothing as rich as culture. I would like to introduce to you now the chairperson for the Missoula County Public Schools, Tony Rabine.
Good morning, and I would like to thank our esteemed guests this morning. It was so nice to have the prayer and the songs. And I'd also like to thank our wonderful musicians. Wasn't it great to walk in this morning and be tapping your toes and feeling like you want to dance? You guys are awesome. Thanks for getting up early so that all of us could get in the mood. Well, good morning once again to my fellow educators, so many friends of mine here in the audience, our fabulous support staff, to Mayor Engen, to President Dennison, and to many of our honored guests who are here. Thank you for being with us, and welcome to our start of the new school year celebration. Today marks a new beginning for Missoula County Public Schools. This is truly a new day in our district. Your board has committed itself to an absolute focus on our #1 goal. That goal is student achievement. We appreciate all of your efforts to this point, and we will use your accomplishments and your achievements to move us ahead. I am honored to be able to introduce to you this morning your school board, which has unanimously established the 4 goals which will guide our district into the future. Our elementary vice chair, Ms. Jenda Hemphill. Stand. Our secondary vice chair, Mr. Jim Sadler. Our high school trustee, Mr. Drake Lem. K-12 trustee, Mr. Joe Toth. K-12 trustee, Mrs. Nancy Picard. K-12 trustee, Mr. Scott Bixler. High school trustee, Mr. Rick Johns. K-12 trustee, Mrs. Kelly Herning. And K-12 trustee, Mr. Adam Dirk. And our Sealy Swan High School trustee is with us via television screen. She's with her staff in Sealy, Mrs. Debbie Dupree. We have worked hard this summer to establish the 4 goals which will move our district forward. They are, number 1, student achievement. This is what we are all about. Number 2, to develop an evaluation and accountability plan that will promote student achievement. Number 3, to move toward an organizational structure that will support student achievement. And 4, to have a plan of professional development that will focus us completely on student achievement. And now it is my heartfelt joy and absolute privilege to introduce to you the person who will move us ahead in order to accomplish these goals, who will capitalize on your accomplishments and gifts to help us become all that we can for our children. Indeed, he is the person who has graced our district with the vision and the expertise that will move us to become a world-class school district. I present to you our new superintendent of Missoula County Public Schools, Dr. Alex Apostle.
Thank you. And I should begin. Now, I had nothing to do with this sign up here. I walked in, I was totally shocked. But it was very nice of you to do. Honored guests, trustees, and members of the world's greatest profession, both certified and classified staff. I salute and recognize you and welcome you to the 2008-2009 school year. I stand before you humbled, appreciative, and proud to serve as your superintendent, and I mean your superintendent. I am passionately committed and determined to work with you to bring together in a focused and articulated fashion all your good works and exemplary achievements. Your accomplishments will serve as the launching pad for our continued success and overall direction in the academic year 2008-2009 and beyond. On July 21st, 2008, our school district trustees, led by Chair Tony Rabine, further enhanced our ability to move forward together by establishing 4 specific goals which are grounded in the Missoula County Public Schools strategic plan. The 4 goals are as follows, and I will mention them again. Number 1, student achievement. For all students, regardless of their circumstances. Number 2, refine and implement a quality, supportive evaluation and supervision program for all staff. Number 3, define and implement a quality professional development program that encompasses best practices and supports the needs of our staff. Number 4, restructure the organization to provide maximum support and direction to staff and all programs in the Missoula County Public Schools. In order for the district strategic plan and the 4 goals to have the impact we need, we must together ensure the following. 1, we must adhere to a common district PK-12 curriculum. 2, we must all teach the district-approved curriculum which supports specific grade level and subject matter benchmarks. 3, we must utilize the district-approved instructional materials which support the student learning process. And 4, we must adhere to the district curriculum throughout the system to ensure vertical and horizontal articulation, which is essential for students to learn. Adhering to a common curriculum will also provide us the opportunity to develop evaluation supervision models and professional development programs that are focused and coordinated on specific and consistent student learning outcomes. Through this process, we can also develop other systems of support which will benefit both staff and students. We must create a highly focused organization which provides teachers and staff the support and resources to win. In support of this direction, the 4 goals were formally adopted and unanimously supported by our trustees at the August 12, 2008 school board meeting. At this meeting, Trustee Adam Dirk said it best when he made a statement that I will not forget. He stated, and I quote, "This is a historic moment for our school district." Based on the work of our trustees and Trustee Adam Dirk's statement, I truly believe we are at a pivotal and defining moment in our school district's history. As our 35th President of the United States of America, John F. Kennedy, once stated, at any given time, we should be able to give up who we are to become who we can be. And I'll repeat that. At any given time, we should be able to give up who we are to become who we can be. I truly believe this is our moment in history to do just that. We are currently engaged in a defining moment in our profession where status quo is not an option. American public education will either fall back or move ahead. I believe by working together towards mutually agreed upon measurable goals, we can ensure that status quo will not be an option for the Missoula County Public Schools. In the process of working together, we must embrace the human spirit. We must exhibit empathy for one another, supporting each other during our trials and tribulations, and rejoicing in each other's triumphs. We must empower and trust people to do their work without fear of failure or reprisal. We must have a strong belief that people will be successful with appropriate and consistent support, regardless of the challenges and obstacles that we will face. We must respect what people say, regardless if it differs from what we believe. We must work from one another's strengths and not from our weaknesses. Based on these practices and beliefs, we can seize this moment in our history and determine our own destiny and not be chained by insecurity, fear, political mandates, and worst of all, stymied by mediocrity. We must plan to win by exercising our intellect, our passion, and courage. Educating our students in the 21st century is not for the faint of heart or for those going through the motions. We again must seize the moment and reach for standards and deeds never imagined for the benefit of current and future generations of students. I have re-entered the profession I love because I was tired of hearing the constant bashing of public school educators, public schools, and the rhetoric that we don't measure up to the rest of the world. As the greatest nation ever created on this earth, we must march forward together and say to the rest of the world, catch us if you can. We must regain our stature and prominence on the world stage as the best system of public education. We must not continue to take a back seat to anyone in this arena. We must again establish the standards for others to follow. Granted, I've been in Missoula for only a short time, but during this period, I've met people who are proud to be American. I've met people who love and respect this city, their school system, their university, their state, and their country. Based on these observations, we as a city and school system have the willpower, the pride, and the human spirit to establish the Missoula County Public Schools as the new standard of American public education. We have what it takes to develop a system that engages all patrons of the educational community in a meaningful, respectful, and dignified manner. We have what it takes to move all students towards outstanding student learning. We have what it takes to reinforce the belief that we will not make excuses or alibis for students not learning and for schools failing. We have what it takes to establish high measurable outcomes, PK-12, and to also develop standards for a high school diploma that personifies the highest standards, a diploma in education that provides all students with a multitude of options upon graduation and embraces the skills, knowledge, and confidence to not only achieve their hopes and dreams, but will also provide them with the foundation to compete and collaborate on the world stage and win. All of our students have hopes and dreams, but federal and state mandates refer to many of our students as being members of subgroups. The term or the categorization of students as members of subgroups must not be part of the Missoula County Public Schools vernacular. Every student is precious. Every student is precious, and we must continue our efforts to ensure appropriate support for every one of our students. All students will succeed with our support and encouragement. We must continue to represent a system of education that does not and will not resort to this form of labeling in thought or otherwise. We must move quickly in a determined fashion to remediate and eliminate this stigma by establishing creative and supportive programs of curriculum and instruction that supports the hopes, dreams, and ambitions for all of our students. We must provide hope. As the famous poet and author Emily Dickinson once said, "Hope is the thing that perches in the soul." Providing hope must be our mission. Education must continue to be the bastion of hope. It is imperative that parents, teachers, support staff, administration, trustees, politicians, and the community at large acknowledge and values their roles and responsibilities in terms of moving our school system forward. In the final analysis, there must not be finger pointing, placing of blame, or settling for less. The reason we must all come together is simple. If we don't, our students and the entire spectrum of education in our country will suffer the consequences. We cannot afford to let that happen. We cannot afford to let that happen. Throughout this presentation, I have emphasized the importance of working together towards very specific and measurable goals. I have recognized your accomplishments and the importance of the human spirit as it relates to our ultimate success. But the most important message I want to leave you with is this. I'm committed to each of you, and I will work diligently, shoulder to shoulder, through thick and thin, to ensure our students and school districts' success. By working together, and I stress this, by working together, we can do anything. We can make this district the best in America. I look forward to working with each and every one of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to introduce the president of the Missoula Education Association, someone that I've worked with in the past couple of months, and I feel honored to do so, Jack Sturgis.
Good morning. I am Jack Sturgis, and I am president of the Missoula Education Association. It's great to see you all. A lot of you knew me when, so I'm honored to be here. And it's exciting to know that there are over 8,000 students out there who are just as excited as you are about Wednesday. So here we go. In the spirit of that little history lesson here, the Missoula Education Association is affiliated with the Montana Education Association and the Montana Federation of Teachers, MAA-MFT. We are nearly unique in this nation as we are one of the first states to have merged the two national affiliates, NEA and AFT, together to form a new union, MAA-MFT. MAA-MFT, whose president is Eric Fever, is a great union. We represent over 17,000 teachers, classified personnel, and public employees. It is the largest labor union in the state of Montana. Make no mistake, the Missoula Education Association is a labor union. We negotiate, monitor, and enforce the collective bargaining agreement, your contract. Last spring, your negotiating team and the district reached a 2-year agreement, the highlights of which are guaranteed prep time for K-5 teachers, a paid day before school starts for teachers to work in their classrooms, two and a half days of additional staff development time within the 187 contract days, and a 3.5% and 4% pay increase over the next 2 years. You guys have a great team, I tell you. We promote and defend teacher rights. We work with management to solve problems. We provide a great number of member benefits, including a $1 million NEA Educators Employment Liability Insurance Policy. We also work at the state and federal level to elect public officials who support the promise of public education. We craft legislation and public policy and lobby in support of better working conditions and pay for our members. We are also a professional organization. MAA-MFT provides high-quality staff development for teachers and classified personnel around the state. Last summer, MAA-MFT put on the summer conference at Carroll College in Helena. Denise Juneau, who is running for Superintendent of Public Instruction, and who we wholeheartedly endorse, spoke to those in attendance and told this story about Eric Fever, which is worthy of repeating here. One day, Eric, who did his undergraduate work at Carroll, and as many of you know is a Catholic college, was going through the lunch line, and there was a large bowl of apples at the beginning of the line. There was a sign by the apples that said, "Take only one, God is watching." Eric took his apple and went on down the line, and when he got to the end of the line, there was a large plate of chocolate chip cookies. Eric pulled a 3x5 card from his pocket, scribbled a quick note, left it by the cookies, and went and sat down to have his lunch. The next guy in line got to the plate of chocolate chip cookies and read the note, which said, "Take all you want, God's watching the apples." This is the kind of guy you want as your president, someone who's watching your back. Along with the summer conference, MAMFT, in concert with the Montana Professional Teaching Foundation, will host the Educators Forum in Helena this September. The theme of that conference will be Educating Montana for a Profoundly Different Future. And it'll bring together school board members, teachers, and administrators from around the state. Through AFT, we have trainers in our district to train teachers in foundations for effective teaching, managing antisocial behavior, and effective instruction in reading and math. And the crown jewel of staff development, the MEA-MFT Educators Conference this fall in Missoula. I hope many of you will join over 2,000 educators from across Montana and will take advantage of this outstanding conference, which will be held right here in this building on October 16th and 17th. And I would be remiss if I didn't put in the plug for your local association. First, thank you to all the building reps who work in your buildings and serve on the MEA Board of Directors. To the MEA Executive Board, the Insurance Committee, the Teacher Standards Committee, and the other MEA committees who meet when needed, thank you. If you can spare some time to be a building rep and serve on the MEA Board of Directors, serve on an association or a joint association district committee, or volunteer in our office, please call me or email me. I'm in the book. An organization is only as good as its members want it to be. Look around you. This is an incredible group of dedicated and wonderful people who make Missoula County Public Schools the exciting and progressive place it is to work and learn. We're all here, teachers, classified personnel, trades and crafts, administration, board of trustees. It takes all of us working together, shoulder to shoulder, with students, parents, and the community to make MCPS effective, responsible, and accountable. A community is known by the school it keeps. As we start the new school year, I always find myself looking back and reflecting on my time as a student. I don't remember who sold me a pair of shoes in 1968 or who my landlord was in 1971 when I moved to Montana, but I remember Miss Morgan, my 5th grade teacher. I was not an easy student, and she took the time to ask me what fascinated me and took me to the library. And when we checked out books on sailing in the sea, I read my first book in 5th grade, John Paul Jones. Mr. Campbell was my 8th grade teacher, science teacher, and he took us outdoors every chance he got so we could explore the world and ask questions and wonder. He rarely answered any of our questions, but would ask us questions in return and encourage us to think, research, and figure things out for ourselves. My 11th grade English teacher was Mr. Broadhead, and he was a bit stiff. He met us every morning at 7:30 at his classroom door in his rumpled tweed jacket. That first semester, we read Dickinson's Bleak House, and at 7:30 in the morning, both the discussion and the hour were bleak. His daily routine was to take the first 5 minutes of every class period and encourage us to make a list of what we wanted to do and accomplish that day. He would say, "Strongest memory, weaker than palest ink." I still make a list almost every day. Your students will remember you too. Something you said, something you stood for, something you did that inspired and changed them forever. It is a powerful and compelling responsibility, and it's what makes teaching challenging and rewarding. Working in public education is exhausting and draining, and at the end of the day, there's no feeling like knowing you've made a difference in someone's life. There is an ancient Chinese proverb, "A wise man plants a tree under whose shade he will never sit." Rest assured that MCPS students will be sitting in the shade. Thank you and have a great year.
Thank you, Jack. On your program, it indicates that Sherry Postma, president of the merged Missoula Classified Employees Organization, would be our next speaker, but she experienced a little accident. She's fine, she's okay, but Carlene Hathaway will speak on behalf of the merged Missoula Classified Employees Organization. Carlene?
Good morning. Like Sam, I kind of wish I was somewhere else. I'm Carlene Hathaway. I'm the Secretary of MMCEO, the Education Support Professionals Union here in Missoula. I am speaking on behalf of our president, Sherry Postma, who unfortunately had a little accident on the way to the River City Roots Festival. As Alex said, she is okay, but she's banged up and was too embarrassed to stand in front of you all bruised and bloody. Sherry did want me to express to all of you her optimism for this school year and for many to come under the direction of our new superintendent, Dr. Alex Apostle. Sherry told me that upon his acceptance of the superintendent's position, Alex made a personal phone call to her from Arizona, telling her how much he was looking forward to working in Missoula with such an incredible group of people that make up MCPS. She felt that was an excellent omen of good things to come, that the superintendent did take the time to call her personally. MMCEO has been working with Alex since late June, and this gathering is one of the things that we have been working on. In the past, the ESP, the Educational Supports Professionals, have basically been left out of the beginning of the year gatherings. It was usually as an afterthought that we were told we could attend if we wanted, but we weren't really made to feel part of this event. This year, however, all MCPS staff was invited and encouraged to attend. This makes for a great feeling of belonging, of being a part of something very important. MMCEO is made up of nearly 400 members. You are familiar with some of the groups such as the paras, the custodians, and the secretaries. But did you know that we have 59 job titles in our union? You probably didn't know that. Our unit is made up of the familiar ones I have already mentioned, but we are also food service transporters, kitchen helpers, speech assistants, sanitation workers, bakers and cooks, food prep workers, cook cashiers, head and assistant head cooks, testing techs, lab monitors, family resource specialists, accounts payable, attendance, payroll, and records clerks, bilingual tutors, bookkeepers, dray drivers, equipment managers, groundskeepers, library media techs, print shop employees, purchasing agents, activities coordinators, receptionists, educational sign language interpreters and models, warehousemen and warehouse coordinators, LPNs, physical therapy assistants, service learning coordinators, Braille specialists, catalog and systems specialists, certified occupational therapy assistants, PC network techs, help desk technicians, orientation and mobility specialists, social workers, data managers, federal projects coordinators, MARC, hardware software specialists, information support specialists, maintenance coordinators, and the network system coordinators. We are all MMCEO. MMCEO is committed to its members, and we are all committed in the effort to make MCPS the best educational community in Montana. We can achieve this through collaborative work with you, our certified staff, with you, the administration, and with the parents and students for whom we all ultimately work. On behalf of MMCEO President Sherry Postma, Vice President Wanda Hovland, Treasurer Connie Peterson, and our dedicated council members Pat Childers, Joe Garner, Sally Doyle, and Lou Henderson, we welcome you to the 2008-2009 school year. We hope you can make it a positive and rewarding year for everyone. Thank you.
Sherry and Carlene have been wonderful to work with and a very important part of our team effort. as Carlene said, to make our team the very, very best. Is Paul Ritter here? There he is. Paul, I'll turn it over to you, and we'll get going.
Thank you, Dr. Apostle. Before we introduce the band, we'd like to, it just occurs to me, as you see the talent up here, and you're going to hear, you heard it when you come in, they really are representative of this room and everybody in here. There's a lot of talent in this place. Sometimes we go out and we get some other folks to do workshops and clinics, which is great. We can do a lot of workshops and clinics and impart a lot of knowledge from the people sitting right here. So this is just symptomatic of all of us and all the contributions that we can make. We got 3 people that didn't make it in the program. Jeff Stickney, who's a trumpet player up here. Fred Nelson, a retired band director, who is also playing trumpet. And Kirk Easter, who is a string teacher at Washington, but he moonlights on the saxophone. And so, join me in enjoying Gary Gillette. He had the key, that's why he's got his name on the program. Gary Gillette and the Apostles.
What a great performance. Let's give them another big hand. Moving right along, it is my pleasure to now introduce the Honorable Mayor of our city, Mr. John Engen.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Always note that the band has problems leaving the stage. Gentlemen. It's funny though, it's usually Gillette who's last. Ladies and gentlemen, my name's John. I'm 43 years old and I am a product of Missoula Public Schools. 8 years at Willard. It was an elementary school then. Which is also why the cops are here today. Another 8 years at Hellgate High School. And I can tell you that folks like you changed my life. And it's that simple, and it's also that elegant and that beautiful. What you all do every day is what I try to do every day, and that's build community. It's a remarkably important exercise, and I know that some days it seems like it's without reward, and some days the rewards become manifest years later. But what you do matters a lot. As I look out over the crowd, I know many of you. I've either been in your classroom as a student or I've been there to talk to kids about local government and why mayors are so incredibly important. Or I've had a chance to read The Stinky Cheese Man over and over again. Or we've just had a chance to talk, and I've had an opportunity to learn a little bit more about the kids you serve, the families you serve, and the community you serve. And we are all, as you've heard this morning, in this together, which is why it's such a great pleasure to join you this morning, a community united to save this great place and make it a great place for years to come. So with that, a pleasure to see you. Wanted to also note, I don't know about you, but during the daydreaming portion of our program today, I went to a place where I was with the entire city council and there were cheese fries. All is right with. Have a fantastic year and don't holler to call on me if you need me. Thanks.
Cheese fries, huh? Our final speaker is the great president of the University of Montana, Dr. George Dennison.
Thanks very much, Alex, for the invitation to be here this morning. I bring you greetings from your colleagues across town at the campus of the University of Montana. We start classes today, too, so we know what the first day is all about. We're very excited also to have a large incoming class, many of whom come from the schools in Missoula. So to us, the success of the Missoula community and the Missoula schools makes a world of difference. A couple of things to keep in mind as you enter this new year. Unless we work together, all of us educators, K-12, higher education, we will not reverse the very discouraging trend internationally of education. The United States has fallen from 1st to 14th in educational attainment of its citizenry, 8th with regard to those who have degrees. Another statistic which frightens me is that of 18 entering high school freshmen, only 18, sorry, I said this wrong, out of 100 entering high school freshmen, only 18 will receive a degree 10 years later. Those are discouraging statistics. Only by working together will we be able to make that change that's absolutely essential. We're looking forward at the Montana University system and at the University of Montana in working very closely with you because we face the same problems. It isn't just a case, as many people have said, of students coming unprepared. It is a case of our not paying attention to their needs once they get on the campus. So we have, just as you have, a program which we will implement over the next few years, which is focused on student success. Our intent is to increase the retention rate, increase the graduation rate, make a difference in the educated citizenry in the state of Montana. This has to happen nationally, and then the United States will claim its first place. Thank you. What you do is incredibly important. You know it. I know it. The policymakers know it. We will, together, make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dennison. We appreciate all of you being here today. I would like to thank our honored guests and trustees and all of you for supporting this event. I want to wish you the greatest 2008-2009, and I will be with you all the way. I know those are just words, but you will see from my behavior, I will be there with you in your schools, in our schools, I should say, and in your classrooms. I wish you the best. Thank you, and have a great day.